And for the next half an hour, I'm pleased to say, not only here for Grand Prix Guild, but throughout the weekend, our special guest analyzer throughout the course of this America's Grand Prix, the 1993 MotoGP World Champion, Kevin Schwantz. Kevin, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. All's well. Nice Thursday. A little bit overcast. A little bit of rain last night, and forecast that the weather might be an issue this weekend.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be an interesting one. Rain potentially on the cards tomorrow, maybe a little bit hit and miss on Saturday. It looks as though these guys are not going to have much time to get themselves dialed in.
Yeah, that qualifying session is going to be really important. So FP2 turns even to that much more of an important session where it could be mixed conditions. Who knows?
It's great to have you on board. Kevin's going to be in the commentary box with us on Friday afternoon for the 60-minute practice session, then again on Saturday morning, and we'll be with Lewis for After the Flag on Sunday to get all the best analysis from what we see unfold here in Austin, Texas. We're going to be catching up with Pedro Acosta and Johann Zarco throughout the show, but let's start off with the man of the moment. 4 races, 4 wins. Marc Marquez's 100% record continued. 2 weeks ago in Argentina, we all thought that once he got on that Ducati that people were going to struggle to see which way he went, and so far that's been the story.
Everybody that's in the loop kind of predicted that, and worst case scenario for the rest of the field is Cota's been kind of his home grounds for quite some time. He didn't quite have it his way the last couple of years, but before that, 7 wins on the trot.
Yeah, he's incredibly strong around this place. If he was to take victory here this weekend, it would be his 8th win around here, matching his record at the Saxon Ring, which we know is another of his most favoured circuits. Difficult to say whether you have been impressed. You have to have been impressed with what he's done. Does it come as any surprise, though, that he's gelled with the best bike on the grid as well as he has in such a short space of time?
It's kind of a surprise. These modern machines seem so difficult. They go from one brand to the other. It's all the same brand of tire now, so that makes it a little bit easier. But I think Marc's just shown the talent that we've always known.
You have to say, we gave a lot of credit to Alex in Argentina last time out, because given the moments that Marc had, he was clearly pushed very, very hard by his brother. Alex is performing at probably the best we've ever seen him in MotoGP at this current moment.
Yeah, and once again, same bike from the year before, a bit of an upgrade. That 24 bike seems to be easy for a lot of people to ride, and I think from what I've heard, Pecco may be going back to try that thing soon.
Yeah, that's the talk in the paddock at the moment. After the Argentinian Grand Prix, Bagnaia mentioning the fact that he may revert back to the 2024 package for this weekend, hoping to catch up with Davide Tardozzi throughout the day today, and then of course we'll hear him from pit lane tomorrow to get the latest on whether that is the case. But already, Kevin, 31 points, the difference in the World Championship between Marc and Pecco. It was billed as the dream team, the fight between them. We've still got 20 rounds to go. It's a long, long season ahead, but already in a championship fight, you don't want to see that points gap start to build and build and build, I imagine.
You don't ever want to see momentum just continue and carry on. Somebody's got to figure out a way to try and slow at least one of the Marquez brothers down, and figure out a way to get Alex to the front, or Pecco maybe on a 24. But don't forget, last year, the Aprilia was a dominant machine from the first practice to the end of the weekend. Won both races, fastest qualifier, Maverick was. I still expect some big things from Aprilia, especially when Jorge Martin gets back.
Well, that's it. We need to touch on it, of course, if you've not been with us. Jorge Martin absent again this weekend, but the talk in the paddock is he's going to be trying his very best to return next time out in Qatar. Can you put yourself in his shoes? You've just won the MotoGP World Championship for the first time. You make the big money, the big move with the #1 plate on the front of the bike, and you missed the opening 3 Grand Prix of the year. I mean, how devastating must that be?
Yeah, I was world champ, and starting the season in '94, I started off by breaking my arm on a mountain bike. So almost missed the first test, but managed to make the first race just barely. There's a lot of pressure with that #1 plate on. At least he got 13 laps of testing in. And, the Aprilia seemed like a pretty good bike at the end of the season. So maybe Jorge can get back on that thing. I know they've asked for some extra test time for him. It doesn't seem like anybody's real interested in letting him have that. But Jorge will just take his time, realize this season is probably pretty much a wash for him, and just get out, get on with the bike, and start developing, because he's got to live with that thing for a while.
Well, that's it. He's not rushed his recovery. He's not rushed his return. Do you think that was the right thing to do, to make sure that he returns when he is 100% fit?
Absolutely. Knowing a little bit about his injuries, wrists and ankles, so many moving parts, so many moving pieces, something that really needs to be 100% before you get back on the bike. I tried a little bit in my career to ride with banged up wrists and hurt hands, and I for sure wish now today that I hadn't and had gone ahead and healed properly.
Right, let's move forward throughout the paddock then, Kevin, because our first special guest is going to be Pedro Acosta, who is safe to say hasn't enjoyed things all that much so far in 2025. The KTM, it seems, hasn't really been able to take a step forward. We know from his 1 year, last year in MotoGP, how much of a competitor Pedro is. Just how frustrated you think he will be at the moment not to be there fighting at the front with the likes of Marc, Alex and Pecco?
You know, rookie season, I think Pedro did an outstanding job, led some Grand Prix, had a chance to win a couple of Grand Prix, didn't quite make it to the end, but showed some outright speed that he can do what needs to be done when the bike's close. Yeah, frustrating that they hadn't seen much progress this off-season as the season's gotten started, 2 races in, still no real progress, but you know, every track's another opportunity, so tell him, if he asks me for advice, I'd tell him just keep his head up and keep digging.
What a breath of fresh air he has been for the World Championship, though. I know that you in your day were certainly not afraid to say it as it is, and he seems like he's cut from the same cloth. He's got an opinion and he's not afraid to share it, which is what we need in the sport. We need characters, and he certainly is one. Yeah,
I think you should say what needs to be said, not what they want you to say. And you know, Pedro's been a real bright spot in the sport in MotoGP for us.
And he's clearly been highly touted for a potential move in the future. He is contracted with the Austrian factory until the end of 2026, but already rumours swirling with regards to his future, the potential of maybe a move to VR46 next year on a factory bike in Valentino Rossi's concern. There's also some talk in the Spanish media about maybe a move to the factory Honda squad, given the improvements they've made. It's clear that the only thing Pedro wants to do is win and fight for world championships. and right now, maybe KTM can't provide him that package. Is it any surprise to you that even this early in the season, there's all of these rumours swirling so far?
No, I think everybody in the paddock realizes Pedro and his talent level. And on the right machine, you know, if he was on a Ducati beside the guys at the front, I think he'd be right there mixing it up with them. So, you know, when things don't happen like you'd like for them to, the bike's not progressing along, you start talking as soon as you have to, especially in the off-season and leading into the start of a new season.
And here is the man himself, Mr. Pedro Acosta. How are you, sir? I'm very good, thank you.
Not bad at all.
So, welcome to Austin. How are things so far?
Well, quite good. I mean, it's a country that normally helped me a lot, you know, to enjoy also for this. Quite good.
The start of the season, myself and Kevin were just saying, we know it's not where you want to be. Is there optimism that with a clean slate you can really bounce back this weekend?
We hope. I mean, maybe Austin was one of the best weekends that we have last year. For this, we hope it's true that it's not the start of the season that we was dreaming with, but at the end, it's a long championship for this. We have to be calm.
Kevin, you were just saying that the mixed conditions coming this weekend. Maybe we have some weather again tomorrow. Don't get some people miss on the setup a little bit. My man Pedro can ride through the problems better, huh?
We hope. At the end, I mean, normally the KTM is quite okay in that condition. It's true that, like you say, if the people run out of time to make a proper setup and be in that high level that we see other manufacturers, maybe we can play a little bit more around for this. Let's see what is going on. We have to be calm, but try to don't make a big mess around.
We know that you want to be fighting at the front every weekend. To you, finishing 4th, finishing 6th, finishing 8th, is there any difference?
Well, it's true that it's not the same, you know. At the end, it's not easy to accept, but sometimes, like I say, it's a long championship for this. It's better to start to scroll some small points and then try to be alive in the championship at the end of the year.
I know that, Kevin, you were sharing your advice when things aren't going as they are. You might as well take the opportunity and tell him.
Yeah, you know, it's just keep working, work even harder, you know, because little stuff like the weather, you know, just some place you might click with the setup, the track might suit your style better, the bike might all of a sudden work really good one place, and just keep your head up, keep working. You'll do great.
We hope.
In terms of the future, we're only at round 3, and already all of the media wants to talk about Pedro Acosta, wants to talk about what the future holds. How do you sort of put that to one side and just concentrate on the job at hand? Is it easy to do?
Well, at the end, we have to know where we are. I mean, I come to KTM with a clear dream, and the dream is still be there, for this. We need to keep pushing. At the end, we know that it's not an easy target, but it's part of the game for this. We have to be calm, don't listen the guys out of the team, and that's it.
I know that this man was a big hero of yours growing up. What do you, well, I know that you don't remember much of watching his races because you weren't born yet, but I imagine his style and his personality off track is something that you try and emulate yourself.
Yeah, well, more than anything, I really like it how he was, because I remember to go to one All Legends racing here, and he was, let's say, I will not say the only one, but was one of the guys that was pushing more for the fans and all these things, Also, how was his character around the races was quite nice for this. Maybe for this I go in that direction.
Have you got any more questions, Kevin?
No, I don't think so. Just good luck this weekend. Have fun.
Thank you, buddy.
Keep smiling.
Pedro, good luck this weekend. Good to see you.
Thank you, boys.
There we go. Right, we'll move on further. And we need to see Pedro as well. Disappointed you didn't have the cowboy hat on.
We have it, but let's try to keep for Sunday.
Okay, Sunday, okay. Of course, famously here in Austin, the guys on the podium managed to get themselves the special Michelin cowboy hat. Yeah, he's going to keep fighting. That's one thing for sure.
He wants to win races, maybe at all expense to end up in the gravel trying, but you can't discount him forever. He always gives you 100%.
That's it. His hunger, his appetite for success is as strong as anyone. And you do wonder, as a result of that, whether if there is the opportunity to get himself onto a bike that can help him fight the World Championship, he will take it, but that's all to come. He's certainly got the right man in his corner. Albert Valera's a pretty good operator, managed to get some good deals sorted for the likes of Aleix Espargaro, Jorge Lorenzo. I'm sure they'll be working in the background to work something out.
They're non-stop, consistently, constantly working on stuff.
The paddock never stops turning. And from one man whose results haven't been exactly what he wanted to one man whose results have been exactly what he's been desiring. Johann Zarco, Kevin, was Honda's leading light last year, first year on the bike. The bike has taken a step over the winter, and he's gone with it as well. He was magnificent in Argentina.
Great qualifying, great race result. And Zarco was kind of the lead Honda all last year, too, even though it wasn't as far up the field as it's been so far this year. And maybe nobody really took notice of that, but that's where I always did, was look at the results. Who was the first Honda? And I think, 90% of the time it was Johann and the Cecchinello team.
How nice is it to see the Japanese factories, Honda in particular, smiling at last? It's not been a fun couple of years for them, but it seems that there is light at the end of the tunnel at last.
I bet the Japanese really aren't even smiling yet. It takes a lot to make them smile.
A sixth place certainly won't make them smile, but they'll be appreciative of the work that's been done as Johann comes in and joins us now. He's just chatting with some of his Öhlins tech. Johann, come and join us in the middle here. Great to have the Frenchman, of course, two-time Moto2 world champion, MotoGP race winner. We were just saying, Argentina was a great weekend. Having reflected on it, what did you make of it?
After reflection, I just want to do it again. It was so nice to all the weekend from the first lap on Friday morning, being on the top of the classification and almost feel that what I'm doing is working well. Then in the race, you have to fight with the others, and clearly everyone wants to catch a podium. And I could not have it, but I was very close, and coming from the back of the classification was something good. So I'm curious to see if I can repeat it here in Austin, because if I can do it, it will be very positive for us, Honda, and for me.
To be there, to see the podium fight, to be starting from the front row, does that just add to the fire in the belly, add to the hunger to keep there on a more consistent basis?
Hunger is always there, whatever the results. But clearly it's more the feeling on the bike, thinking, if this was working in Argentina, it's a different layout, but maybe if I adjust few things on the riding, I can repeat it also on other tracks. So it's more a reflection of I can adapt this to every track, and I would love that it works like this.
And I know you've been impressed with his work, not only this year, but last year as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you were the lead Honda. I was just saying, I think about 90% of the time last year. Maybe most people didn't look at the results and notice that, but yeah, you were one of the top. You were normally the top Honda, and this year, further up the board, when you can see the front, I think the motivation and the inspiration is even that much greater from a rider standpoint as well as the team and the manufacturer.
Sure, but there are different targets during the season. Last year I wanted to be in the top 10, but when we began the year, I clearly see that it's not possible. So then you try to be at least the best on the rider to keep up this best support from Honda and keep this this trust from the biggest constructor, because we cannot forget it. And this year, when I see that this top 10, it's clearly something much more possible than last year, then yeah, you build up this confidence. And it's not the bike as I was riding a few years ago, and but I'm happy that making some different things, it seems we can make it work. And this is so interesting, because also when I missed this project in KTM in 2019, that was a personal target also, to start from something tough and being positive to make it work.
Of course, the Honda this year from the outside, it doesn't look all too dissimilar to last year, but the impetus of ideas from guys from Aprilia, from KTM, Romano, Aleix, it seems that from the electronic standpoint, the bike has taken a huge step. How much has the influence of ideas from other factories and then you having 12 months on the bike helped to take the bike to where it is now?
Yeah, these 12 months on the bike helped me to trust more on the bike and adapt the riding style to use the bike as the bike is asking. Then with Romano, I think it's pretty interesting to have a European guy coming from another brand to help the Japanese to take maybe some quicker decision, because we know in the Japanese education, in the way they are working, when they are on the right way, you cannot stop them. But the problem that we were not clearly on the right way. So I think Romano can help the Japanese to jump from one way to another until we find the right one.
In the garage, is Beefy making all the right decisions now?
Sure, Beefy have changed a bit his work with the years, but now he really takes all this information to try to, like a spider, try to make work all the Japanese engineers together, and also understand what's happened on other bikes with other riders, because sometimes the comment can be the same, but we do not explain it in the same way.
And it's difficult when the factory looks, especially to you, as with all the results that you've been getting, they look to you as kind of the lead person on the development of the bike, I'm sure. So that's extra added pressure on your shoulders too.
No pressure. It's a pleasure to be not a leader, but yeah, it's, as I say, it's different targets during the season. If I can stay the best Honda, for me it's very important, because when you are a competitor, you want it.
Leads me into my next question. Contract is up at the end of the year. There is the potential to move up to the factory team. As Kevin said, as everyone can see, you've been pretty much the strongest Honda. Is the dream to be a factory rider again with Honda? We know how much you love the family atmosphere that Lucio puts together right now. Where do you see yourself in 2026?
I think make a step up with the factory team can be very nice, but I cannot say really like a step up, because we have the full support from Honda already with Lucio. It will be more as something prestigious as a rider, and we have to evaluate these possibilities. And we only did 2 races. For sure, I started pretty well the season, and this pushed the people to say, okay, the next step is the factory team. So yeah, for the prestigious side, I would love it because it will be something pretty nice to keep pushing myself to trust about the podium. And also I want to think that for 2027, with the new rules, maybe the Honda can be the best bike then. And I would love to be on the best bike when the things will change.
Of course, the MotoGP grid now is very, very level. Factory rider, independent rider, the bikes are incredibly competitive, but as you know throughout your career, Kevin, there's no bigger prestige than being a factory rider, especially for a brand like Honda.
Oh, absolutely. You know, we used to always walk by the Honda garage. Everything seemed to be better organized and look nicer and that much more professional. Suzuki guys did just as good a work and worked just as hard, but the Honda has always been that team that, yeah, everybody looks up to for sure.
Let's see for the future then. Just finally, before we let you go, Austin, a place that you've enjoyed in the past? Is this a circuit that you gel with?
It's a place that I've been struggling in the past years, but clearly with what I could feel on the bike lately, I'm thinking that maybe this feeling of struggle can change in something I can enjoy. So I would love to enjoy Austin this weekend.
It's great to see you smiling, Johann.
New surface.
Yeah, but it's new surface from last year, or we?
No, I think it was new because it was new for NASCAR. So I think when they were here 3 weeks ago.
I was cycling with like few laps this morning, and yeah, I saw some area new, some other still old. So I cannot really say, and we will see on the track. I know when it's all new, we have less bumps, and then with the times, the bumps are coming back. So, as I say, it's the same for everyone, and we need to adapt.
It's certainly going to be interesting. Bit of rain in the air as well. It's good. One of those weekends where you can take your opportunity.
Sure. Rain, getting dry, that's something I can enjoy and maybe get an advantage compared to the others. We have to see. I think it's going to be very warm again on Sunday, but Friday, Saturday at least, get this Q2, good qualifying with mixed condition can be an opportunity.
Great to see you, Johann. Have fun this weekend.
Thank you.
Good luck this weekend.
There we go. Great to be able to chat with Johann Zarco, the Frenchman who had to bide his time to get that first MotoGP win, but he feels revitalised with Honda. Even there, speaking about the new rules and the new tyres coming in 2027, his desire to still be on the grid. He's one of the elder statesmen now, but he certainly isn't slowing down.
No, he's not. And, you know, looking all the way forward to 27 and new rules, you know, I think everybody got to see that as another opportunity. Maybe that's a big equalizer and we don't see all the Ducatis right at the front. You know, we got to wait and see. Ducati may come ready for 27 better than anybody, but we, you know, at least there's something different on the horizon.
Yeah, I'm sure Gigi's already working away to get something together for 2027. We've got about 10 minutes left before we head to the press conference. So let's touch closer on this championship battle that we've seen so far this year. Of course, Marc Marquez comes into this weekend, as you've said, as the heavy favourite. Is it a weekend where he's the only one that can stop himself? But, I mean, in this sport, nothing is ever a formality, so there's no point as getting carried away to that point.
Yeah, you know, it's racing and anything can happen. Like I said earlier, 7 wins on the trot back when he was on the Honda here. Hasn't had that continued success over the past couple of seasons, but you got to think he gets back out there, it's going to be home stomping grounds again, and everybody's going to have to work really hard to catch up. I think he and Alex have proven that they're kind of the class of the field over the weekends. Pecco's got to be scratching his head, trying to figure out exactly what to do. But on Pecco's behalf, you know, like I mentioned to Zarco, being the lead rider in development, there's that extra pressure. You're the factory guy. You're the guy that everybody's reading and listening to. All your notes, anything development-wise is coming from what you're saying. So you got to make sure that you're 100% set on what you felt that practice session, that test session, before you start asking the factory to make changes. So, you know, I look for Pecco. He's a tough guy. I mean, easy for him to get in his own head, I think, but he's still physically and mentally really tough. And I think, you know, I think we'll see Pecco rebound, whether it's from the getting on the 24 bike or just something that's going to give him a little more confidence.
Pecco normally, throughout his career, whenever his back's been against the wall, whenever people have started to doubt him, that's when we see the best version of him. It certainly feels as if we're in that position at the moment. I'm sure you've been there before, when you just need a result, any kind of result, just to get the ball rolling. And even at this early stage in the year, he just needs something to really kickstart the year.
He's definitely backed into a corner, but like we said, we're 4 races in. They got tons of time left. You know, and I think one of the great things is racing on any day, anything can happen. And I think, you know, another notable mention are the 46 boys.
Yeah.
DG, Morbidelli, both great starts to the season. DG not quite as good of a start as Mor because he was a little beat up coming in. But, you know, those guys are some guys to watch this weekend, too, as well as that Aprilia that was absolutely on fire here last year. You know, we never know, but we just have to wait and see what first practice shows us.
Yeah, let's walk down to the VR46 garage then, down here, because it's worth mentioning Frankie Morbidelli, the return to the podium last time out after over 2,000 days. He's been through a lot, the struggles with Yamaha, that massive pre-season testing crash that affected the entirety of his year with Pramac last year. On a personal note, how nice was it to see him smiling back on the box again?
You know, Morby's one of my favorite in the paddock, and to see that guy smiling again. And there's one more guy, get confidence in behind him. He gets a little bit riding in his hip pocket with him. Who knows where it could go?
He's come back home to the VR46 squad. He's working with Matteo Flamini, who was Valentino's data engineer for so long. It's such a huge family atmosphere for him now. In your experience, just how important is that the environment, the atmosphere, to allow you to go out and be successful? You know,
especially for the Italian riders, it's something that they absolutely love, that they thrive on. And I think hopefully we're going to see some more of that from Morbidelli.
Yeah, it'd be great to see him up there. They've actually got a special livery this weekend, an NFL-themed livery for all of you guys to enjoy. It's been released later on tonight, so make sure you stay tuned to social media. And for Didier as well, we need to touch on him. What a move it was on Johann Zarco to steal that top 5 place right at the very end in Argentina. As you say, had a big crash in pre-season testing, but as we've seen pretty much over the last 9 months, I think he said on Saturday night the last time he felt 100% fit was in June last year. He's been gritting his teeth to get the results and grind them out, and you have to doff your cap to that.
Even riding just a little bit hurt. These machines are so physical these days. If you're not at least 100%, you're gonna, every day is going to seem like, every practice session seems that's going to last forever, and every lap's going to be extremely painful. But DG's done a great job.
Just finally, our 4th rider in the press conference coming up in a couple of minutes' time is Japanese rookie sensation, Ai Ogura, with the American Trackhouse Racing squad. I mean, what a revelation he's been in his first 2 Grand Prix. Absolutely superb.
Unbelievable how good and how consistently he was at the front all weekend long in Thailand. And, you know, goes to Argentina and doesn't quite duplicate that result, but he's close enough there that everybody should really take notice. I think we're going to see some great things from him.
Absolutely. I mean, just watching him on track, it just looks like he's gelled instantly with the MotoGP bike.
Which, so he's been riding one forever.
Yeah, which so often isn't the case. These things are so difficult to get your head around, but for some reason, Aya's just gelled with it instantly.
Yeah, I mean, there's guys that ride him for a whole season and you don't seem quite that confident. So hats off to Ai. I think he's doing a great job. And
nice to see the Trackhouse guys get some success as well, and seeing that American flag flying high. Yeah, well, like I said, I was here for NASCAR 3 weeks ago, and Trackhouse team there. Road course, they had some pretty good results, and yeah, to see them where they're at here in MotoGP is hats off to them as well. So there we go then, half an hour build-up officially done as we get ready for the official press conference here in Austin. Marc Marquez, the World Championship leader, along with brother Alex Marquez, with Frankie Morbidelli and Ai Ogura joining us with Matt Burt. My thanks go to Kevin. He's going to be with us Friday afternoon tomorrow, Saturday morning, and for After the Flag as well, so we can get more insight and analysis from the MotoGP legends. Do you enjoy that? Absolutely, that was fun. Yeah, great. We need to do this again. Exactly. Well, we need to get you to Qatar in a couple of weeks' time. You can enjoy the sunshine there. Sure, no problem. Right, let's get it organised. Great to chat to Pedro and Johann as well. What a weekend we've got in store. It has been the Marc Marquez show so far. 4 starts, 4 wins for the number 93, and he comes here to the Circuit of the Americas, where he is so affectionately known as the King of COTA. Can he reclaim his crown?